Just a few months ago, the Sacramento Kings and their fans got at least one more reason to be confident in their team's success heading into the 2020-21 NBA season. That reason was Hassan Whiteside, who signed with the Kings for a one-year deal, thus returning to Sacramento after a long 11 years from the time Agent Block was selected with the 33rd overall pick by the Kings in the 2010 draft. Even though Hassan averages pretty modest numbers for someone who was once an elite-level center, it's unfair not to mention the small number of minutes he is allowed to play, which is the reason why many NBA fans overlook him while criticizing Whiteside's play style. Many NBA fans state that Hassan is low energy, slow, and overall unmotivated while playing for the Kings, which is understandable considering the terms of the deal and his minutes per game. Of course, Hassan Whiteside's fan base isn't happy to see their favorite player being unhappy and in an overall career slump. But this month, Whiteside fans' interest might be reignited with the latest Hassan to the Lakers trade rumor. Today, we will talk about the chances of Whiteside being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, along with the pros and cons of this move. But before that, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell to get updates on our latest NBA content. Let's keep rolling. The Los Angeles Lakers are currently standing in the third position amongst the best teams of the Western Conference, and La GM is about to make his next big move, acquiring Hassan the Block Machine Whiteside this trade deadline. The Purple and Gold had a decent offseason, but with the loss of JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, the Lakers' center position became one of the weakest links in the Los Angeles team's game. And to top it off, the Lakers' point guard Quinn Cook was released, which creates an opportunity for the Lakers to get a new center to fill this roster spot. Of course, there is Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell, but they are different kinds of beasts who provide floor spacing and scoring over things Whiteside can bring to the team as a pure center. Similar to the video where we discussed a Victor Oladipo to the Golden State Warriors trade, I would like you, my dear viewers, to play sport analytics and try to estimate the chances of a Hassan to the Lakers trade and try to predict the outcome of this move. I appreciate every single one of your comments, so feel free to give me your opinion. As usual, we will start with taking a look at Whiteside's current stats and try to estimate Hassan's value for the Lakers from the perspective of pure numbers. In 3 months, Whiteside has played in 23 games for the Sacramento Kings, averaging 8.3 points on 58% field goal percentage, making 5.7 rebounds and 1.3 blocks. As I have mentioned previously, those numbers are pretty moderate for the average NBA center. But are they? There is one fact worth mentioning, and it is the minutes played stat, which is the key factor in why Whiteside's numbers have dropped. Agent Block is in 10th place amongst other Sacramento Kings players by minutes played per game. I don't really think that Hassan has a chance to shine in such strict regulations, and Whiteside's numbers last year for the Portland Trail Blazers were accordingly 2 times better when he was allowed to play 30 minutes on average in comparison to 14.6 minutes in Sacramento. As I often say, numbers can't always display a true player's talent, and that is this very case. And I want to prove it by giving you 3 things which Whiteside would contribute if the Lakers decide to trade for him. Number 1. Let's start with the obvious. Hassan is an elite shot blocker. As I have mentioned previously, the Lakers have sacrificed this part of their game to acquire better floor spacing and scoring in Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell. But honestly, Marc is not the shot blocker he once used to be. Whiteside would not only enhance the Lakers' swatting capability, but he would bring the elite level of it, and I will show you actual numbers to back it up. On the contrary to the 2021 season stats with the Kings, Whiteside was averaging a staggering 2.9 blocks per game and led the league with the most blocks, 196. Even with limited minutes, this year Agent Block still provides good numbers in the blocks stat line, and sometimes we see him outburst like he did in the game versus the Brooklyn Nets 1 month ago with 26 points and a jaw-dropping 5 blocks. This man is far more than just capable of swatting shots, he is the master of it, and may really help to cover one of the Lakers' most important weaknesses in the front court. Adding Whiteside to their team, the Lakers would also allow them to make their big men's minutes more impactful in the rotation. Number 2. One more fact that people tend to forget is that Hassan is actually an elite rebounder as well. For his career, Whiteside averages an amazing 11.4 rebounds per game, while 3.3 of which are offensive rebounds, which is very impressive. Hassan averaged more than 13 rebounds a game in the 2019-20 NBA season with 13.5 boards, and in the 2016-17 season with a terrific 14.1 rebounds per game. Of course, the Lakers are not struggling with rebounding, but acquiring Hassan would take pressure away from other players like Anthony Davis, who has to carry the team on taking the boards, thus lowering the chances of another injury while rebounding or fighting in the paint. Number 3. As I have just stated, a Whiteside trade would overall relieve the stress put on the Los Angeles Lakers superstars, helping the purple and gold with the dirty work with rebounding, fighting in the post, and blocking shots. With a bigger amount of minutes, Hassan would also provide at least 14 points a game, which he previously did with the Portland Trail Blazers. Whiteside's trade would give the Lakers players time to rest and would bring greater depth for the Lakers. Of course, Agent Block is not a perfect player, but he might be one of the best assets the Lakers should pursue this trade deadline. Not only would the superstars benefit from this move, but it would also allow Marc Gasol to come off the bench and perform better against the opposing team's second-unit big men. Kuzma would get more minutes as the small forward, giving LeBron room to breathe. Montrez would get minutes too at the power forward position, and with Gasol's capability to stretch the floor, it would allow Harold to continue to do his thing down low. Now, to give you a full picture as always, I will talk about some negatives heading into this trade. Number 1. At 31 years old, Whiteside's skills are not improving with each year, and there will be a time when his abilities will start deteriorating, but it's not all that bad for the Lakers. Here's why. Right now, the purple and gold may acquire Agent Block for the veterans minimum deal, which is an absolute win for the Lakers. Considering the fact that the Lakers' chances to win rings are decreasing each year because of their top players aging, the Hassan trade would bring immediate help in the current season's playoffs. Number 2. Hassan Whiteside is called one of the most immature players in recent NBA history, and of course it may bring chemistry problems to the Lakers, but let's be honest, how can one be unmotivated playing for a championship-level team like the Purple and Gold? I'm sure that in LA, Whiteside would have the respect he deserves and would play far more than just 14 minutes as the 10th man on the bench. Number 3. Hassan lacks shooting and assists, but in my opinion, he completely redeems that with his pure center skills like getting boards and swatting shots. I think it's a must-do trade for the Lakers this trade deadline, which will bring a lot of positives to the LA team. What are your thoughts? Do you think it is a great idea for the Lakers to pursue Hassan Whiteside? If yes, tell us where you see the purple and gold squad with Agent Block. Do you think Hassan will finally get a chip for himself with the Lakers? Tell us what you think in the comments down below. And once again, make sure to leave a like on this video and hit that subscribe button to catch up with the best NBA content. If you like this video, make sure to watch my previous video on a potential Victor Oladipo to the Golden State Warriors trade. Thank you for watching.